Showtime. I just got suspended off of TikTok for doing absolutely nothing.
I know you weren't even talking to the camera.
I wasn't talking to the camera at all. I got suspended. Oh my God. Wait, let us know that you're in here because you know the numbers. The numbers.
Oh my God. I've got a huge knot in my hair. Like, I was going to try and make it look. No.
Let us know if you're in here by saying hello in the comment section. It is 4:20. I do not have a blunt in my hand because I only have one King Palm left. But I know I
Stop life. Yeah, that's a story of my life.
I've been so busy today. So I got my Dr. Dabber here, so I'm gonna hit it. You guys, I can't wait till everybody's in here. This is crazy. How did I just get suspended? I wasn't smoking at all because I don't have a blunt in my hand.
No.
And so I was like, wait, what did I just get suspended for? They suspended me for bullying. I wasn't even talking to the camera. I certainly wasn't bullying anybody in my feed. I would never.
No.
That's crazy talk. What? TikTok? I was about to get off anyway, but still, I submitted an appeal. I don't bully people ever. I don't do that.
Yeah, that's like
that's not a thing that is no part of. Yeah. Thank you for posting that in the Discord main chat. Kelly, did you hear what I just said? They kicked me off of TikTok for bullying and harassment. You were just on that feed. I was not even. What? I wasn't even talking to the camera. It's crazy talk. We're going to give you guys a chance to get in here. I know that this show was posted on several feeds in the Facebook world because we want to hear about it. We're going to keep harping on this subject. It's really important. We know that we have a pretty nice thank you fan base in Missouri, and so we want to make sure that we stay on top of this issue specifically. But before we get into that, we have some other things to talk about. You're looking at that. Are you looking at that article that Kelly sent?
No, I was posting. Okay. I was trying to get on our socials. I will go into the Discord. I do have a little a Memorial Day fact that also covers our Black history.
I might have the same fact, so let's
compare notes.
Let's compare notes, maybe. Let's see, main chat. Let's see. Let me open this up. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So we haven't read this article yet, but apparently there's a moratorium in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Oh no, you didn't hear anything because I didn't do anything. I wasn't doing anything. I was not even smoking because I don't have a blunt prepared. What's up?
Hey everyone. Ooh.
Yeah.
Joining in. Today's gonna be a good show.
It is gonna be a great show. So I'm gonna look at that in a second, but let's compare notes on this on what we have here. Hold on, let me open because I saved it. Is it a thing you found on Facebook?
No, it's a Peacock link. LX, whatever they're, I don't know.
Okay, you tell your story and then I will see if mine's the same.
Okay, so it's just the headline is, and again, this is from the Watch Live, I guess the live Peacock stuff. Anyway, the title is Black Americans were nearly erased from Memorial Day's history.
That's unfortunate because mine's is different. And so, yeah, okay.
So it says many cities claim to have celebrated Memorial Day first, but the true earliest version of the commemoration, organized by Black residents of Charleston, South Carolina, was nearly erased from history. Dozens of U.S. cities claim to be the first to commemorate the lives lost during the Civil War. Waterloo, New York, Columbus, Georgia, and Carbondale, Illinois are just a few. But one city often left out of the conversation is Charleston, South Carolina, even though its commemoration happened an entire year before every other city's. So it's saying in May of 1865, thousands of newly freed enslaved Charlestonians exhumed a mass grave of dead Union soldiers, reburied their bodies, and commemorated their lives with a parade. The holiday we know as Memorial Day was first called Decoration Day, and over the years that name changed to Dedication Day. It wasn't until the 1960s when Memorial Day became the official name. Regardless of what you call it, the first observance of Memorial Day can be traced back to an old Charleston race course. And we know about this important history because of David Blight, an African American studies professor at Yale and the author of Race and Reunion. So this is an interview with him, or leading up to an interview with him. And we'll go ahead and get those into some links.
Awesome. My story is similar, the same. It is a fact check on that story of whether or not that's true. And it is, in fact, true. And the claim appeared on Facebook last year on May 31st. Jada Pinkett Smith shared it as a Know Your History. And I'm not going to repeat the same facts you just read, but she posted a little blurb about that, which basically stated what you just said. And then she said, I was never told this part of history. And today we get to remember all of the men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. And then may the divine bless them all. So, she posted this last year. It's been fact checked, etc. Is true and absolutely amazing. And it proves our point that American history is Black history. Black history is American history. Dun, da, da, da. And world history. Dun, da, da, da. Surprise.
I know. Imagine how opening how that opens things up when we realize that we are not the only ones to exist.
Exactly. So I just want to jump right into this moratorium bit here. And then I have one more thing to share before we bring on our guest, but that next thing relates to our guest. So, okay. So this is as of May 27th. So Friday. The Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority, which is the OMMA, for those of you who don't know, they're going to be processing applications for new growers, dispensaries, and processor licenses for up to 2 years. Okay. And then their governor, his name is Governor Kevin Stitt. He just signed House Bill 3208. So they're going to stop processing any new, so you can't do it anymore. If you are, okay, listen, check it out. If you are interested in doing the regulated cannabis game in Oklahoma, you have until August 1st to apply and receive your license. Basically, it's, if you haven't already applied, you're pretty much it's not gonna happen for you, at least for the next 2 years. It says all of our current grower, dispensary, and processor licenses who stay in compliance with our rules should know that HB 3208 doesn't change anything for them. Owners of current licenses will still be able to apply for renewal when it's time. So you could still renew your license. There's just going to be no new license released. They're ready to implement HB 3208 by incorporating it into the rules during the rulemaking process, fulfilling the regulatory duties entrusted to us by Governor Stitt. So it will end on August 1st, 2024, unless or earlier, if the executive director determines all pending license reviews, inspections, or investigations are complete. So they'll be accepting new grower, dispensary, and processor applications through 11:59. So you have to have your application in by 11:59 p.m. on August 1st. They're doing this because, that's why. they're doing this because they have an overwhelming amount of licenses that still have not been approved. It's going to take them, it's the months is now like good luck, right? It's going to be months, and then years if they continue to accept licenses or license requests. And so in order to, I guess, help with that traffic, they're just putting a moratorium on applications and approvals for up to 2 years. It could be less time if they get through what they have to get through and decide that
So they're not restricting the number of licenses. They're just like saying applications are putting on a halt for 2 years.
Doesn't look like they're restricting the number of licenses, so that has not changed. They're just right now it looks like overwhelmed with paperwork and administrative duties.
Okay. Just reading Kelly's comment about them talking about draining resources. And we've had those conversations here in Colorado. I did just want to, I don't know if you got to see Christina's private chat message, just that she is limited on time today for an hour. So
cool.
want to get her in here so we can start
absolutely
convo, and which it does that does segue into where we're at and how if you are, what are moratoriums? What does that mean for everything? And in Oklahoma, they were fast and loose, like, hey, everyone, let's do it.
And now, they can't keep up right now. To introduce our guest, we've had her on before. Christina Thompson is our guest today, and we're going to be really talking about her, but also the work that she's doing for the community, for the canna community, and for the cannabis industry, honestly, for us. So let's bring her on, and then I just want to read a little passage that I'm just gonna break some stuff down for you guys, and then we're gonna get into it. I feel like, Hey, welcome back.
Hey, can you guys see me okay?
We can see you, we can hear you. Yes.
All right. How's it going? Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming back. Thanks for all the footwork that you're doing and the hard work that you're doing right now. Before we get into it, so if everybody, or for those who don't recall, Christina joined us to have a conversation about Legal Missouri. It's LegalMO 2022 versus there was a legislative option that was being discussed, but it hadn't really made a whole lot of headway. But it sounded like a better option, right? Legal Missouri has gotten enough signatures to get onto the ballot for November. There's been, I guess, a little bit of talk, and we can get into this in a moment, about potentially what's the word I'm looking for? I just lost my train of thought. Questioning some of those signatures, the validity of some of those signatures. Sorry. And so that could be a potential thing that could happen, where if that's put into question, then some of those signatures may not be valid, and they may not have enough signatures to get onto the ballot. So that's potential right there. But here's some critical points. This was posted by Marianne Kuhn and from Dank Hydro, and it's tagging Ben Hartley. So I just want to give credit where this was.
Ben Hartley's my cousin, so gotcha. I think I know which little points you're going through. Yeah.
Okay, so some critical points to consider of LegalMO 22. Public use would be illegal and punishable by fines. Expungement does not apply to those who have been prosecuted for a marijuana DUI, who have distributed to a minor, or were charged with possession of more than 3 pounds. Those currently incarcerated can petition for release, but the courts can reserve the right to deny it for good cause. That's crazy. There is automatic release, and there is no automatic release or expungement. Current medical marijuana licensed businesses will be awarded automatic adult use recreational license, while new applications will have to wait 18 months to operate. Micro businesses micro business cultivators can only conduct business with micro business dispensaries. In other words, they cannot sell their product to a comprehensive facility or a larger dispensary. Micro businesses are limited to producing 250 flowering plants per cycle with no provision for expansion, possession, cultivation, and sale of cannabis except in the amount defined by DHSS, which is the governing body, remains a crime punishable by a prison sentence. Civil asset forfeiture remains legal. Civil asset forfeiture remains legal, and state funds, including marijuana tax revenue, will be used to fund law enforcement who will continue to enforce prohibition. Cannabis remains Schedule 1 under Missouri's revised statutes list of controlled substances regulated by DHSS. So those are some big points. And you heard me while I was reading them, you guys. I was like, what the fuck? Absolutely. So let's talk about it.
How can anyone say this is good? How are any of those points good? Like
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and here's the thing, like all of those bullet points that Ben Hartley put up there, he got those from me. I have been going through that initiative. I've read that initiative. I can't tell you how many times, just gleaning through it for the what it actually does. It is not easy to read. And a lot of the provisions that they put in there, regular people are not going to understand that, Right. I have a little bit of experience, reading legalese. I worked at a law office for several years. So I'm familiar. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm familiar with some of, the legal jargon. And reading through that, especially the micro business provisions. And, that one's big because the Black community, I believe it was the ACLU, I'm not 100% sure if that was who it was, but they basically said that the micro businesses are how the Black community will enter this market. That is their way in. But unfortunately, the truth behind those micro businesses is not well understood. It's not well known. So if you look at the definitions in the Legal Missouri 2022 initiative, they have restricted micro businesses from being able to participate in the entire market. Right. So micro dispensaries are only allowed to do business with micro cultivators and other micro dispensaries and the general public. Okay, micro cultivators are only allowed to do business with micro dispensaries, and then you look at the definitions for comprehensive facilities, which are the big guys, corporate, corporate marijuana. They also, in their definitions, they're allowed to do business with everyone except the micro businesses, right. So they
because
have,
they don't need that. Yeah.
And, I sat there and, whenever I first realized that this was the thing, it was right before the hearing that we had on the Cannabis Freedom Act, HB 2704. And it was, like 4:00 in the morning, and I'm sitting there and I'm rereading because I did not want to make a mistake in what I was saying. I wanted to make sure that it made sense, and I'm sitting here thinking, why would they do that? Why would they limit them? And the reason is, so micro cultivators, they're limited to 250 plants each. Okay, I personally, right now, any person here in Missouri as a caregiver, you can caregive for up to 3 people. You can cultivate for up to 3 people. All right, you can grow just one individual about 1/5 of that 250 plants just without any kind of special licensing, other than a cultivating caregiver. Okay, right. 250 plants is nothing, but they were able to restrict the cultivators by limiting the plant count. How do they restrict the kind of business that a micro dispensary can do? If they can very easily restrict micro cultivators from doing business by just limiting plant count. But how do you limit a micro dispensary from right. how much profit they can bring in? And the way you do that is by limiting who they can get their product from.
Right.
So a micro
Right,
dispensary
they won't
is
have access to everything.
Exactly. This is like saying you cannot go to Walmart
Mm.
to get your product that you're going to sell. You can't go and get that from Walmart. You have to wait for the little mom and pop shop to have the products that you need to sell. So a micro dispensary will not be able to go and get, their product from one of the established cultivators. They
Right.
have to wait for a micro cultivator to get up and running and grow enough product for them to buy from. And then again, they're limited.
Well, they're not just limited in that, but there's that caveat in there where they also cannot apply for like an expansion. They would have to get a whole new business license and be approved for a whole new business license instead of being able to expand if they have the revenue to grow their business. They're basically saying you can't grow your business in that way.
No provisions in there to help you grow your business either.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that micro cultivators, they're limited to one license per person.
Wow.
So they cannot.
There's no room for growth.
No,
There's zero room for growth.
But here's the thing: full-size cultivators, the rich people who can afford, they can have up to 10% of the total number of licenses available, which is going to be approximately 600.
You guys, when we tell you, like, seriously, it's not worth it. I don't even know how to explain it to you. Once those regulations are in place, they are so hard to change. It like literally, they're not going to change. They're going to stay the same. And that means, and we've talked about this before in kind of the realm of like delivery driver licenses and things like that. And so you can get these licenses. They're the cheaper licenses. So go ahead and you can run this business. But if you want, this is Colorado, right? But if you want to run a dispensary and you want to do that under a social equity license, you want to be approved under a social equity license, you have to get a partner who's already successfully running something in this industry. You can't do it by yourself. You can deliver. So it's like classing the industry. They're putting them in the class category and they're not letting them expand their business. They can't even grow when they show that mom and pops and like hands on, you can't even get a second one. You can't even grow your plant count.
Nope. Meanwhile, anyone who is currently established in this industry, they can have, dozens of licenses. So what this boils down to is poor people are limited to one, rich people are limited to not just one, and that has been, during over the past several months, I was up at the Capitol every chance that I had to talk to our legislators and let them know, like, this is a serious threat. This is getting written into our Constitution.
Oh, that's a problem. That's problematic.
Yeah. The fact that this is not just one of those laws that sucks. And eventually, if we decide we don't like it, our lawmakers can just change that shit. That's not how this works.
That's not
how it goes into our Constitution, and it cannot be changed unless somebody does another initiative petition, or our lawmakers manage to pass something through the House and the Senate, and it goes on the ballot that way. But either way, once it goes into our Constitution, it is not something that is easy to change. And I'm telling you, like, that has been the majority of the education that I found myself doing over the past several months, has been trying to explain the difference between, legislation and a constitutional amendment, and why, and this is what I've said. If you were to take Legal Missouri 2022 verbatim, all of that shitty language, horrible inequality, all that other great stuff, and you were to put that in a piece of legislation, it would still be better than what we're dealing with right now. Because at least it's legislation, and we, the people, have a way to change it over the years through our lawmakers. But as a constitutional amendment, once that's written in there, we are fucked. And just to put it as brutally honest as I possibly can, it's the same situation that we're dealing with our medical program. What DHSS is doing to us for our medical program, it's unbelievable. And this is the same group that did our medical program. So why are we going to let them, after they screwed us so bad with the medical program, how are we going to turn around and let them do the same thing with adult youth?
Don't want something so bad that you let them sell you anything.
Absolutely.
You know,
And
I want to like pause for a minute and just say, because I know that we have Missouri listeners. I just want to say, listen, we don't live in Missouri. We're not out there fighting the fight. Do you want to come on and tell me why legal Missouri is a better option? Because what I've seen so far, it is not. But
it is not. But I've
means,
heard that there are people out there that are supporting
but
it.
By all means,
why is it not so bad? And or why not just this? I didn't realize this was a constitutional amendment for y'all. Like that is in itself. And I don't think that in all the discussions that we've had that was that was said and what that means for the city.
And that's, it's terrible, you know. And one of the big issues that I personally have with it, you know, is the cannabis community is already silenced so much. You know, we experienced that when we all went up to the Capitol on March 8th to testify in favor of HB 2704 of the Cannabis Freedom Act. You know, we had I think it was over 100 people from the cannabis community, you know, regular people come in and testify and say, you know, we need this. You know, we need House Bill 2704. We need the Cannabis Freedom Act because we are currently suffering under this medical monopoly. And if you guys can legalize adult use, you know, through a piece of legislation, then, you know, we're going to have real competition and it's going to help patients. And then we turn around and we see the opposition show up, and everyone who testified against House Bill 2704, they were people in the industry, you know, and they sat there saying, yeah, exactly. And throughout, like, I was there when the Cannabis Freedom Act officially died. You know, I was at the Capitol. I was waiting for it to go onto the House floor and be debated. It was on the schedule to be debated. Legal Missouri 2022 killed House Bill 2704. What they did is they stripped away any choice that we had in legalization for this year. And then they said, well, sucks to be you guys. Looks like you're only stuck with us. You know, and a lot of people did think, you know, like, well, if this is the only option we have this year, then that's what we're going to go with. And I'm sitting here saying, like, that's not acceptable. DHS, they require
build it. No, let it go.
Medical patients right now, we have to waive our Fourth Amendment rights, our right against warrantless search and seizure. Okay, Fourth Amendment is your right against warrantless search. You have to waive that right now as a medical patient in Missouri. Okay, when you sign up for a cultivation card, you have to check the box that says, I agree to grant DHS access to my home whenever they ask. Okay.
Why would you get a medical card for? I mean, good Lord, that's even.
And it's for cultivation. And then that would pave the way for other states to be like, oh, look, they did it. We should do something like that too, because we seem to adopt the shittiest laws from everybody else. This is the amendment we should be worried about. This is the one, okay? Like, they're not coming to take your guns. They're not coming to take your guns, but they are coming to take your freedom. Look at this.
Well, but here's the thing, though. You don't know, because if they decide to come into your house, this is the state. This is a state entity. Okay.
What I'm saying is, no. My point is that we should be more worried about them violating your Fourth Amendment than your Second Amendment.
Yes. Well, 100%. Yeah, because that's their way into your house. Right. You know, if you want to cultivate, if you want to cultivate, you have to allow them. You have to say that you will grant them on-demand access to your private property. Okay. No. So under the adult use program.
Yeah.
Under adult use, you know, if they're already doing this for the medical program and you have to get a license for adult use to cultivate under adult use, you know, all of the same rules are going to apply, you know, but you're telling me that that's an acceptable price to pay for legalization here in the state? That's acceptable.
No one's going to know about that. No one's paying attention to that part. They're just going to be like, yay, look at me, I can grow. And then they're the ones that are going to get busted, and they're the ones
that's what's being propped up.
Out of their
we're going to let you grow.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, DHS isn't going to do that. You know, after all of these years, no one's come into my house and checked anything, you know, blah, blah. That's not the point. The point is Once they catch up on all their paperwork and shit, they absolutely can.
They can.
You know, you have waived.
And wait, pause. Because whose neighborhood do you think they're going into first?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't, I mean, not for nothing, but like they're not coming into people's houses that look like me. That's not the first house they're going into. I mean,
neighborhoods like that where I live right now.
Or neighborhoods like where you live. Right. They're not worried about what you have in your house.
Yeah.
And they're going to use this as fruit for other criminal activities.
Yeah, because if they come into your house to do a legal grow inspection and they see something, you know, what are they going to do? They legally entered your home. You know, you waived your right. And I mean, they're supposed to give you a 24-hour notice. Okay, you know, and you clean everything up. What if you miss something? And I'm not saying I'm in favor of everybody doing, you know, illegal activity behind their doors. The point is, though, it's behind your doors. And if the police or, you know, law enforcement find out about whatever illegal activity you're doing, it should be with probable cause. It shouldn't be because you were forced to waive your Fourth Amendment right just so that you could grow a plant.
That too. And let's not forget that, you know, the cops are on the up and up in Missouri. I mean, come on. What do you think that they're going to do? Think that they're not going to find something criminal in your house? You think that? Do you think that? If you think that's a privilege for you. Congratulations.
But this is what we are standing to waive if Legal Missouri 2022 goes through. This is just one of the big issues.
Let me ask you this, because unfortunately it's dead right now. But let's pretend that November has happened and everybody heard you and they were like, we're not voting for this. No. So if an initiative similar to the one that was presented, 2704.
Yep, that's what we're already planning on it. We're already planning on filing one in November. Yep.
Does it? Okay, so I'm just going to cover some of these things that are not covered in Legal Missouri or that are. Mm-hmm. Does it allow for public use? Do you know?
HB 2704. Yes, it did. Pretty much anywhere where it wasn't explicitly restricted. Public
not
use
around kids, right?
Yeah, or you know. It was my understanding, and granted, you know, it wasn't explicitly spelled out in the legislation, but if it's a place where you're allowed to smoke cigarettes, you're allowed to smoke cannabis.
That law is that's the law in New York now.
I was just there. Yeah, I was just there.
The law in a majority of the Canadian provinces as well have the same law. Some don't, though. Canada, keep that in mind. Some of your regions don't have public smoking rules, so just keep that in mind. Know the law. Does HB 2704 do expungement?
Oh yeah. Yes, and that was a huge distinction. Legal Missouri 2022 does not offer full expungement the way they were lying to people and telling them that they did. And I had called Dan Vietz out on that. Unfortunately, he did not directly respond to me, but I had a screenshot from their Facebook page where LegalMO was quoting, "Oh, well, petitions aren't necessary." And right next to it, I had a screenshot from their initiative on page 36, where it says anyone who's incarcerated has to petition and a judge may deny for good cause. HB 2704, on the other hand, the Cannabis Freedom Act, and what we are going to file in November, if people can just be patient for a little bit longer, it is going to offer 100% across the board expungement for anyone who is convicted of a nonviolent cannabis related crime.
You know, also drop charges for those who are sitting waiting for. We know what we're talking. You know what I'm
anyone
talking about.
And everyone who has been charged with, convicted of whatever, a nonviolent cannabis related crime, they get full expungement, no questions asked. You know, it's time for this shit. It's done. You know, people have been prosecuted for way too long for something this ridiculous.
And they've also been held captive also held hostage. I'm speaking about Adele Wisdom. And her and her husband have been held captive basically by the legal system. They keep rescheduling her court dates over cannabis.
Yeah, and notably, I have not read all of the charging information for her, or any of the docket entries, whatever.
I want to say it was hemp, wasn't it?
I believe so,
Mhm.
but the point is, if I understand correctly, what they're charging her with would not be subject to expungement under LegalMO, no matter what. Because under LegalMO, you can petition for expungement if you were convicted of a nonviolent crime that was less than 3 pounds.
Right.
Anyone who is over 3 pounds has to serve their entire sentence, whatever that sentence may be, and then afterwards, they may be able to petition for expungement, again, subject to judicial discretion.
I just want to say that there are white men in Missouri making millions of dollars on this while they're trying to send this woman to jail for hemp, what is legally defined as hemp, from what I understand as well. So it's not, anyways. So legal Missouri would not allow for this, but the HB 20. So this already is sounding. We've gone through these before, but already way better when you compare them apples to apples. This one, number 4, is that current medical license businesses get automatic licenses.
Yes, they do. Under Legal Missouri 2022, every currently established, so the way the language is written is that they will automatically double the current number of medical licenses. There were 338 medical licenses awarded under the medical program. That is going to double, and those new licenses, automatically go straight to existing licensees. So everyone who got the first 338, they automatically get the next 338. And then after that, if any new licenses, and in addition to the 338 that are automatically going to be created, so if any new licenses come up for the first 18 months, those also go to existing licensees. So let's say they create 338 new licenses for adult use. They give those to the existing licensees, and then DHSS decides like 6 months later, like, oh, hey, we need to create another 10 licenses. For the first 18 months, any new licenses are going to go to existing licensees, so that 6 months later, any new licenses, you still can't apply. New applicants can't apply. And
so that's not the case under HB 24.
Everybody
has to apply fairly, right?
Yes. Okay, so there was one distinction. HB 2704, the original language, had said that existing licensees have to wait 2 years to let everyone else have a crack at it. Right. And LegalMO lost their shit over that. They did not want to have to wait 2 years to get to apply for an adult use license, but it was fine for them to do that in their initiative petition for everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
of course, they don't want to wait 2 years nobody wants to wait 2 years to have access to the general public, as opposed to limited access, right? With a shitty program.
But
but it was okay for everyone else
out, so we can profit. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Can under HB 2704, would there be allowance for micro businesses to grow their business?
I mean, so our plan was to include craft licenses. So we actually had been working on an amendment that was supposed to be brought up whenever it was argued on the floor. It was an amendment that would have allowed craft licenses, so people could have sold seeds and propagules from their existing. So under HB 2704, everyone was entitled to grow 12 flowering plants without needing a special license. And we had an amendment set up that would have allowed people to monetize those 12 plants and sell seeds and propagules from them. And I think I just heard about someone recently, a state recently, that was introducing the idea of like farmers markets for cannabis, and that's something, whenever we file our initiative petition in November, that's something that we want to include. We want the craft growers to have an opportunity in this. Instead of it all being big business kind of shit, we want the little guys to have an opportunity to do this, but that is going to require people to be patient enough to not only vote no to LegalMO if it ends up on the ballot, but, to be willing to, show up and sign a citizen-led initiative petition,
Right.
because that's what we want to see, something that the people have put together instead of these big businesses.
Right. And so with that, that's awesome for the craft businesses. The micro businesses would also be able to do business with everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody.
We could do business with everybody.
There would be no limitations on that.
Cool. And then see, possession, cultivation, and the sale of cannabis, except in the amount defined by DHSS, remains a crime punishable by prison sentence. Is number 7.
Under Legal Missouri 2022, that is correct. And this is the logic that was used for HB 2704. There is no possession limit on alcohol. There is no sales limit on alcohol. So why the hell are we going to do that for cannabis? Cannabis is not going to kill you. You are not.
They want us to think that it will.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
They want to figure out how they can tax it more and have more money and regulate it more and continue, and say it's like we're going to
and continue to put people in jail for it, though.
And continue to put people in jail for it. But yet, people that abuse alcohol, kill people with their alcohol use, are getting off with a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Apparently, that's acceptable. It is acceptable to go and get blackout drunk, but it's not acceptable to smoke a joint.
Civil forfeiture.
No, that's not going to happen. Under LegalMO, it will. Under what we are planning, it will not.
You guys, listen to what I'm saying to you right here. Just please listen to what I'm saying to you right here, because I just reread this. Under Legal Missouri, civil asset forfeiture remains legal, and state funds, including marijuana tax revenue, will be used to fund law enforcement who will continue to enforce prohibition. We already know that.
Yeah, so under LegalMO, one of the, and that one, my cousin did end up writing that, Ben Hartley, did that bullet point. But under LegalMO, anything over 6 ounces is still a felony. Okay. So if you are caught selling, possessing anything over 6 ounces, the current statutory penalties still apply, and 6 ounces is a felony. All right. And the thing is, like, once whatever expungement provisions they have in there, that applying for expungement and all of that only applies to past offenses. Okay. So anything that you were charged with or convicted of prior to the implementation of this, of LegalMO 2022, that is what you may be able to apply for expungement for. Anything that you do that's still illegal after they pass, you're not going to be able to get an expungement for that. Because, it's after the fact.
Because they're going to still contribute to their prison system, of course, with cannabis. Removal of cannabis from Schedule 1 under your state statutes. Yeah, so the one that we're planning on doing in November, that would remove marijuana, would remove cannabis from the drug schedule in Missouri. Legal Missouri 2022 does not remove it from the drug schedule, and that's just, these are the things that just, it absolutely drives me insane, that anyone in the cannabis community that knows all of these facts would still be on board with this. I understand desperation. Everyone is desperate for an end to prohibition. Like, I understand that, but they are the ones who are orchestrating this desperation. They created our desperation, and now they are expecting us to go along with what they have created after making us like what the hell? Yeah. They're basically saying, vote for us. We're the only choice because we made sure that we're the only choice. Otherwise, you can't have anything. by lying to a lot of people, from what I
Yes,
understand, about
right.
what they
yes.
were, what their intentions were. They weren't very
Mhm.
transparent in getting
Not at all.
the signatures. It looks like a lot of the bigger dispensaries definitely supported this.
Mhm.
And I've been seeing just like hints here and there. I've been seeing a lot of support for saying absolutely the fuck not
Yep.
in a lot of these spaces that I follow on social media. But I've also seen some lingerings of people kind of buckling a little bit
Yeah.
and saying, you know, legalization is legalization. I'm here to tell you that it is not. It's very difficult to change anything for the better once we have the worst.
What is the percentage right now of where people are sitting with this actually making it and possibly passing?
That's a
Are
good
there
question.
any polls or statistics on that yet? Or
I have no idea. I had heard that upwards of, like 76 to 80% of people in Missouri support legalization. I don't know if that statistic is correct. I know that
Right.
our medical program, passed with pretty high overwhelming support.
Right.
The problem I think is, what you were saying about people lying. I mean, I personally was lied to. I attended an event on April 2nd in the Ozarks, and there were people standing there gathering signatures outside for LegalMO. And I approached them and I said, "What is this? What petition is this?" And they said, "This is the one for legalizing recreational marijuana." And I said, "Okay, which one is it?" And they were like, "It's the one that just came out of Jefferson City." And I looked at them, I was like, "No, it's not," because I'm working on that one.
Yeah.
What is the name? Because at that point we had two petitions that were circulating. There was Fair Access Missouri and Legal Missouri 2022. Fair
Right.
Access Missouri was still shit, but it was the lesser of the two evils. So when
Yeah.
I approached them and I asked them, I wanted to know the name of the campaign. And they just said, "Oh, well, I don't know. And I had to open the petition and read it for myself to ascertain which one it was. And then the woman who was standing there had a fucking name tag that had been flipped around backwards that said LegalMO 2022. She knew what that petition was, and she intentionally did not tell me. And then Representative Ron Hicks was attending an event, and he's the one who filed HB 2704. There were people standing outside this event collecting signatures, and he walked up and he said, "Which petition is this?" And they said, "Oh, this is Ron Hicks's bill." And he looked at him, he was like, "Really? Because I'm Hicks." And
you
these
didn't
were
even
people,
know who he was. I mean,
no, they had
do
no
your
idea.
homework at least. Know who the
if
person
you're gonna
is.
use someone's name, you should know who they are.
You should know what they look like just in case they walk up to you.
Right, I know. But these were some kids that it's my understanding had been flown in from California by the company that was helping to gather signatures, and they had no idea. But I mean, how did they have enough information to say this is Ron Hicks's bill? If they were coming from another state,
somebody,
they would have said it.
Who
They
told
were
them?
given a script and said, "This is what you said."
Exactly.
They're not.
Yep.
They don't care. They're being paid for it. They're not behind.
Right. People aren't going to read
to
this.
Represent the.
Most people aren't going to read it. You guys read it. If it's a petition, read it. If you sign it, don't just take their word for it.
No, absolutely not. And what we're doing, I mean, I'm hoping and praying that the cannabis community will step up, and really take a hard look at this and, vote no in November, provided it makes it to the ballot in the first place. They have to validate every single signature that was collected. And I am hoping and praying that, the vast majority of them get discarded or invalidated, and that this doesn't end up on the ballot. Right. But in the event that it does, God forbid, I'm hoping that the cannabis community will stand up and, do the right thing and say no. Just wait a little bit longer. It is time for citizens, for the actual community to step up and do something here instead of relying on people who perpetrated or perpetuated prohibition in this state.
I was going to say the biggest problem is that your medical program is shit. So people are dying, like not just for the people like who are medical consumers, but also for people looking to get into the industry too. It's just like a whole shit show, right?
Yeah, it is.
And so I feel like a little, like, just coming as the devil's advocate here, I feel like a little bit of their support is going to come from that desperation, of, we need to be able to access it. I don't care how we access it.
But here's the problem. Yeah. The problem is that LegalMO doesn't actually really do anything for increasing access. It's not going to help our prices. We're still going to be under a monopoly. The same group of people are still going to be controlling our supply. And this
I just mean in terms of, like, I don't have to have a medical license to go get this product now. But you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right on all of your points.
And that is a valid point. Yes, you won't need the $25 medical registration to go and fly. It's just not
worth it, though, and like, it's just not worth it at the end of the day.
Because it was so important for, like, we had so much time on our medical system to build it up and and people appreciated it, to the point now, though, it's like, but people still let it die. So it's like, how y'all going to keep, your medical system, or even, hold it accountable, accountable to it, if you never were held accountable to begin with.
And trust, this is a money grab. This is a money grab, because the state's gonna tax the shit out of you. The MSOs are gonna rob you on pricing, and also, those taxes, they're probably gonna add some pennies to that. Right. And it's for a mediocre product too. It's gonna be for a mediocre product.
It's shit. But the point that I've been trying to tell people is, this is not just about marijuana. Everyone thinks, like, the people who aren't part of the cannabis community, they think that this doesn't affect them, but it does. You are handing an estimated $2 billion industry over to a handful of people. They are going to be able to fund whatever election campaigns they want to fund. Okay, this is, if you really want to look at it, this is a coup. They are taking over our entire fucking state. This is not just medical marijuana. This is everything. Our entire infrastructure. This is our politics. This is everything. Because whoever has the money has the power. And they silenced us. We had people show up from the cannabis community for the first time in years and speak up to our legislators. And LegalMO spent millions of dollars silencing us. So if they silenced us like this before it's even happened, how are they going to silence us if it does happen? We are never going to have a voice. If someone with $2 billion who doesn't want us stepping up decides that we don't have a voice, and people think, I think one of the biggest struggles with this, people think that this is a David and Goliath fight. We've got this monopoly money over here, and we're just a bunch of, like, little guys trying to fight against it. That's not what this is. We are a fucking army. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the cannabis community. And the only way this monopoly is going to get one over on us is if we actually let it happen. If the cannabis community could step up and join forces and actually, take a stand against this, these people ain't going to stand a chance.
Yeah. Or I mean, at the very bare minimum, read the things you sign.
Yes. I mean, and by standing up and taking a stand, I don't mean, like, going out there and screaming on the streets, just posting on social media,
educating yourself,
sharing everything that pertains to this.
Having a conversation with your friend who's like, I think it's fine for legal Missouri.
It's fine. Let's just say yes. What groups can people follow, find? What's the best way? And I also had a question about the petition. We talked about this last time. For those that may have signed it and are finding out that they don't want their signature on there. Can you say, like, the process, or somewhere that they can find the process to take their name off of that petition?
So it turns out that after the signatures were turned in, you can no longer strike your name off of it. That is my understanding. So it's too late for that. But if you were lied to, about the petition, and that is why you signed. If you were told that this gives you automatic expungement, if you were told that this is going to open the market up for everybody, if they refuse to tell you the name of the petition, you can file a complaint with the Secretary of State's office in Missouri and tell them, you need to have the date and the time, that it happened, where you were, and let them know that the people who were collecting those signatures lied to you and you're not happy with it. You do not want your signature on something that was misrepresented to you. And our group is Show Me Canna Freedom, and we're updating
Facebook,
things as often as we can. At this point, it's about fighting and making sure people know, vote no. I've heard a couple of people say that there's a price to pay for legalization, and we may just have to go ahead and pay that price. And that's easy to fucking say when you're not the one paying it.
Yeah.
The minorities are the ones who are going to pay the price. Women are going to pay the price. Families are going to pay the price.
The poor are going to pay the price.
It's easy to say, oh yeah, well, we got to do this when you're not the one who's going to be directly impacted by it. I watched someone very close to me take his last breaths. He died from cancer. We have no idea if his cancer could have been treated by medical marijuana because he could not afford monopoly cannabis. And under the current program, no one can gift him anything.
Right.
He has to grow his own, which means the 3-month delay at the very least. Not to mention filing for all of the licensing and
not to mention if you're terminal, like
exactly. And he was terminal. He was terminal, but we have no idea if medical marijuana would have helped him because he couldn't access it in time. He was dead almost exactly a month after he got his card. The day he was approved for his cultivating card is the day they put him on hospice, and he was gone about a month later.
They were like, here, person who has a hard time living, go grow your own cannabis.
Go grow your own. Your cancer will wait to kill you for 3 months that it takes for you to get your plants going and to have your first harvest. So don't worry.
But instead,
and you should be healthy enough to take care of your plants.
You're
like using this for a reason.
Yes.
I'll always say that the caregiver program when you guys first started the program was probably the best thing that I saw.
I agree,
coming out
100%. Except for the fact that if you have a caregiver, you cannot also serve as a caregiver.
Right, that was a stupid rule.
That's fucking ridiculous. But the patients who cannot afford monopoly marijuana, they are the ones who are going to pay this price. The families, they're the ones that are going to suffer. And for that reason alone, and what I've told people, win or lose when it comes down to this battle, no one is going to look at me and point the finger at me and say that I did not do everything in my power to fight this shit. If it ultimately does pass, no one is going to say that I was responsible for it. And that alone, at least I have maintained my integrity. At least I have maintained that moral code where I am not going to give in to this group that is literally victimizing the most vulnerable people in our population, in our community. That is despicable, disgusting, and on principle alone, I can't support that. And I need more women, like you guys, like me, people on our side who are willing to take a stand, who will step up and, speak out about this, who will demand something better. We have a voice. I mean, people thought that it was going to be impossible for us to get the Cannabis Freedom Act as far as we got it. They said, oh, it's never going to get a hearing. It's never going to pass through committee. It's never going to do any of that. In 75 days, just a few hundred people in the cannabis community managed to get that all the way to the door of the House floor. If a few hundred of us could do that in just 75 days, imagine what a few thousand of us could do in 6 months, but people have to actually be willing to stand up and do it.
Yes.
And have the patience for it to be done the right way.
You don't have to, there's different ways to be an activist, like literally having conversations with people about why they should vote no. Like,
Yes.
we're going to be talking about voting anyway. You should be talking about voting anyway. Now's the time to be talking about it. You got to vote all these people out of office.
Yes.
And you got to vote no
please.
on Legal Missouri. Like, your grandparents should not be in office right now.
No, they shouldn't. I'm telling you.
My parents, listen, Gen Xers, your parents should not be in office right now.
I'm telling you, okay. I had one representative tell me that, you know, people already don't want to work. So if we legalize marijuana, how much worse is that going to make things? And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, you realize we live among you, right?
Like,
and we have lived among you for all of these years. I mean, and I told him, you're always going to find
that it allows people to actually get out into the workforce. It allows people to get out into society. It allows us to grow, like literally. And so I just, the rhetoric on that, it blows my mind because again, we're demonizing something that is actually helping people to be more functioning, you know, be more capable.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, like, for me, I just go to the, is that the alarm?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 1 hour.
Happy 420.
Yeah, it's
West
420.
Coast.
Happy 420.
Is it 420 where you guys are? It's like
on the West Coast.
On the West Coast. Okay.
Yeah, on the West Coast. What I was gonna say is that actually, if you just need to take like one psychology 101 class to know that the human brain is actually built to thrive, to thrive, to be better, to be more like, so it's not that people don't want jobs, people don't want to work for nothing, and people aren't being taken advantage of anymore, and that's bothersome to the older folks, right? So okay, so
people don't want to work for nothing, and that's what the problem is, and just trying to convince these legislators, and that's why we need the cannabis community to show up in force, you know, and serve as an example. You know, there are always going to, and this is what I told them, you're always going to have a small group of people who can't handle their shit. You see that with people who drink. You see that with people who smoke. There are always going to be a few, but those people are not representative of our community. They are a very, very, very small number, you know, especially in our community. Now, as far as alcohol consumption goes, it's a much bigger number. But in our community, it is a tiny fraction.
Because you can get addicted to alcohol.
Yeah. Exactly.
Physically impossible to mental dependency. I was just having this conversation today because I'm working on some classes and stuff. Mental dependency. Yes, that does happen. Physical dependency. No, that does not happen. Your body's not going to react in an adverse way if you take cannabis away from it, except that your symptoms may start returning if you're using it medicinally. Aside from that, there's not going to be anything new. It's not going to be a new thing. There's no new stuff going to happen.
It's not like with alcohol where, you know, you can literally die from not having
detox,
it. And you have to go to a hospital. Like, oh my God. But yeah, so trying to educate our legislators, you know, what you said, vote them out. These old people, you know, not to say anything bad about old people, but the ones that are in our legislature, they have no business being in there anymore. You know,
there's like two that are of sound mind right now. Come on, come on.
There's such a disconnect.
They don't care about the, you know, about 100 years next year, you know, like the next 100 years, because they're like, don't care.
No, not at all. And that's, you know, but people in our community, they need to stand up. Even if it's just sharing things on social media over the next several months, we need to flood social media with this information.
Yes.
People need to know. Every single person. People need to call you the person who never shuts up about marijuana legalization. That's what everyone in your circle needs to see you as. That's what everyone sees me as.
Yep.
You know, when I was running around the Capitol, you know, the legislators knew me as the marijuana girl, you know, and that's what everyone needs to see us as. We need to step up and finally take a stand for our community and what we want to see. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
it's never going to happen.
Hey. Yep, absolutely. Everything you said is absolutely true. Before we let you go, and ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna hang out for a few more minutes with you guys. But before we let you go, would you rather? Would you rather eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a grilled cheese sandwich every day? That's all you get to eat.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have to ask, what kind of cheese? Does it matter?
I mean, you tell me, but
Okay, so yeah, if there's no restriction, probably grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
grilled
Yes.
cheese. You would say
Yes.
grilled cheese also.
Yes.
Are you
I don't
peanut butter and
know.
jelly?
I think I might would go with peanut butter and jelly.
I mean, there's
I
only
have a
so
sweet
many
tooth.
variations.
I don't need variations.
You don't need
Listen,
variations?
grape or strawberry, y'all?
Strawberry.
Grape.
Grape. What?
Strawberry.
I mean, I like
both.
I like both, but grape, if
But
there's
grape.
like, yeah.
Grape is where it's at.
If
Somebody
I
said
was stuck with
apricot
just
to me,
one,
right?
yeah. If I was stuck with just one, it would be strawberry, definitely.
PB and J. That's it. Okay.
No.
Smooth or crunchy peanut butter?
Smooth.
There's no like, and that's my problem, man. I can't just. I would have to say crunchy because I'm pretty sure after like a couple years, I would get sick of having no texture. I would have to think ahead.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good one. That's
a valid
good
point.
thinking. That is good thinking.
Yeah.
For
But
the
yeah.
immediate moment, like my first instincts, I'm like smooth, great.
Yeah, first instincts, yes, I
Smooth
agree.
grape.
But if
Yeah.
I think about future reference, like seriously, after 6 years, if you have no texture, you're going to be wishing that it was crunchy peanut butter.
See, that's why I go with grilled cheese.
Yeah, that's why I go with grilled cheese too.
And just change the cheese up.
Yes, change the cheese up. Like
Have you ever grilled up a peanut butter and jelly though?
Yes, I have.
Oh baby.
Oh yeah,
I got one of them sandwich makers that seals the edges.
Mhm.
Or
even just plain toast. Even just plain toast, like hot toast with a layer of peanut butter on it. Oh my God. But I love food. Like I will eat pretty much any kind of food. Dim sum is like my favorite food out of all of it. I absolutely love dim sum.
Nice.
You know, anything like that. I have to have variety. So that's
Variety.
how I get around it.
Me
If someone says you can only have one food forever, I always say dim sum because that's like all kinds of different food.
Yeah, you could put
That's like saying pizza. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. One food for the rest of your life. What would that be? I don't know what that would be. I would say go ahead.
For me, it would be dim sum. One hands down. For you?
I don't know. I love fried chicken.
Okay.
Maybe
forever,
fried chicken.
The rest of your life. See, that's
like crunchy. Ooh,
yes.
one food.
Fried chicken is delicious.
I'm a soup and salad kind of person, so I feel like I would choose something along those lines. If it had to be one specific kind of soup, then like if I have to be specific, it's one thing. If it's just general food, style.
Crazy.
I don't know, either that or Thanksgiving dinner. That's another
Christmas
one.
dinner for me.
Christmas dinner? Yeah.
Oh, all day long. I don't like turkey though. I'm not a big
ham. I know. I love ham.
I don't like leftover turkey, I should say. I mean, you can mix it up and shit, and that's great. But after like the first day, I'm just not interested anymore. It gets that weird taste, and then the white meat dries out. It's just not.
No, we go all out for Thanksgiving here. I built a smoker, an ugly drum smoker, ugly barrel smoker, and I usually smoke about 300 pounds of meat every year for Thanksgiving. Briskets, turkeys, chicken, all kinds.
We just invited ourselves.
Yeah, seriously though, like I go all out on Thanksgiving, and then I don't cook again for like 3 or 4 months.
Amen. That's a good plan.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Once a year, I'm like I hosted Thanksgiving and this last year, and I don't think I've hosted or really cooked a big meal since.
We had a baby Christmas. We had a baby Christmas this year.
Cooking for me, Thanksgiving, I have to start about a week in advance. I make everything from scratch. And it's just, it's
We'd love to
crazy.
come to your house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you. Well, I know that you have to run off to your next adventure, but thanks for coming on and updating us.
Thanks for having me.
We will want you to come back again. Maybe we'll do another panel. I mean, listen, we're always going to listen to both sides of the story. So if you got something else to say about Legal Missouri, by all means, reach out to us. We would love to hear your side of the story. From what I see, it's not great, but listen, tell me why it is. But yeah, we want to have you back on. And as we get closer to election time, we'll start highlighting hardcore on this too. So
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Yeah, maybe next time I'll actually get to come in and sit down with you. We're not even in the same place, so don't even. No, just I need to come and pay everybody a visit. You know, I've met so many people over the course of all of this. Yeah, I need to come.
I'm actually gonna be in Missouri in a couple weeks.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in Missouri.
Let me know when.
Because that's a good caveat. So
yeah,
have a wonderful day, and we're gonna go to a commercial break and then keep talking about a few other things. But thanks for coming on and updating us, and we're gonna have you back again soon.
All right,
and I'll update you on those dates. So
all right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christina.
Bye.
Why am I gonna be in Missouri? I'm gonna be in Missouri because I gotta pick up some more Queen Kitty seltzer. That's why I'm gonna be in Missouri. This show is brought to you, of course, every day and always by Queen Kitty seltzer. Queen Kitty seltzer. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. There's no sugar. There's 10 milligrams of CBD, and there's no THC in here, and no vegans were harmed in the process of creating this drink. I know that's a turnoff for some of y'all, but
zero vegans.
There's no vegans in this can.
No vegans in there.
We got bubblegum, we got lemon kiss, and we have just a regular plain seltzer with some CBD. It's so refreshing. There's no yak in the back. There's not going to be like a film on the back of your throat when you drink this. It's just going to be a nice, refreshing drink. Put one on ice, pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. You're going to love it. This show is also brought to you a little bit by King Palm, kingpalm.com. Use this code to get 15% off of your next order of King Palms on kingpalm.com. KPTCCP MAY15. KPTCCP May 15. You can get 15% off of your next order online from King Palms. And if you want to catch up with us, you can find us on solo.to/cannabiscloset420, cannabiscloset420@gmail.com. You can check out our links on that solo link right there, and you can join us on our Discord. Catch us later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Hey, I want to remind everybody, don't forget to go donate to Stanford Fraser's campaign. I have not forgotten. I'm going to go do that today. Yeah, I do love the put it in your mouth part. So go check out Stanford Fraser. He is running for, tell me again.
County Council.
County Council at large.
Yes, County Council at large for Prince George County, Maryland. And yes, if you go to his Twitter, you can find his link to donate and help turn his hair blue and help him beat that goal to move on to the next part of his campaign. So
we'd love to see that happen.
He's for the community, wants to see fairness, and so certainly help him out. And you do not have to be from Maryland; you can be from anywhere and support his goals.
Campaign. Yep.
Campaign.
Sure can. I wanted to kind of touch on this a little bit because I realize that there's a little bit to the my vote doesn't count trope, right? And the little bit is, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from voting, because I think this just means that you have to try harder to make sure that your vote counts. But the problem is that the people that have been led to be in charge right now are changing like district lines. And when they do that, it makes these little pockets of districts that vote in high percentages a certain way. And then those votes tend to count for more because of the way that the district is drawn, right?
Yes.
I don't know a whole lot about gerrymandering, but that's basically what it's called.
Yeah, it's a self-serving kind of deal where they're restructuring so it benefits them.
Right. So what I'm saying is still go out and vote, but you also have to you have to be vocal. You have to have your voice, or you have to be like, Stacey Abrams is a really good example of what we should be trying to do. She went out and gathered names for a petition herself. She gathered thousands and thousands of names, probably getting some of the facts wrong. I'm sorry, that's what I do. But she went and gathered so that they could redraw the districts and avoid, like, stop gerrymandering in her area. There's more to that story. This is not a political podcast, but what I'm saying is that we just, in those spaces, we have to work harder to get those people out of office, but they really don't deserve to be there. Public service should be an honor and a privilege, and they're using it as a piggy bank, and they're taking their money, they're breaking the bank, and the bank is you guys. The bank is us, you guys.
And then they're not doing what they're, hired to do.
And then they're not doing what they're hired to do, and they're brainwashing people, using their prejudices to brainwash them into making people believe that they're one day going to be part of that rich elite. Not the way this system works.
No. We're definitely talking about taxation without representation.
We certainly are. So, I mean, just keep that in mind. I've been thinking about it kind of like all weekend, really, because we always get on here and we're like, go out and vote, and that's what you got to do. But like, there's some places where that's not enough.
No, you have to be present, and if you really,
sign petitions for redistricting in your favor, in the favor of the community and not in the favor of the politician. Any politician or any person who's run for office or wants to be a public servant, who's out there with the people, telling the people, hey, listen, we should do this redistricting thing for you, not the way that they've done it for them. We shouldn't do it for us. We should do it for you, for like what you need. Any person who's running for office and going, hey, let's do it the way you need it, not the way I need it. That's the person you want in office. That's the person.
Yeah. I mean, it's going on here, and I just saw the first article, they have this stuff in our daily, kind of what's going on in terms of some rezoning for housing and whatnot here. And it's, corporation against, city against everybody.
Yeah, man.
So be a part of the conversation in your community.
We're just becoming one big HBO movie is what's happening. We're watching it. It's like one big HBO film. It's craziness. So I have a couple other would you rathers, but I didn't want to get. There's one that's a little creepy. Well, they're both a little creepy in my opinion.
Okay,
but
go for it.
I figure we do a couple of these and then we bounce out today. What is June 1st? June 1st is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we are having Aria Pettyone back on. Jake, who is the personality behind Aria Pettyone, is going to be joining us. Also, I believe there are going to be 2 or 3 other personalities joining Jake. And we're gonna talk pride. We're gonna set it off. So show your pride. I know we can't see you, but make sure you show your pride on Wednesday, 4:20 Mountain Standard Time. As always, I'm very excited for this show. I'm wearing my tutu, and that's the way it's going to go. So there, said it. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Question. Yep.
Okay. Would you rather sound like Kermit the Frog or sound like Elmo forever? It's not easy being green.
Kermit the Frog. Yeah, I would say Kermit.
You wouldn't want to sound like a surprised 5-year-old at all times?
No.
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 What about y'all in the comments? Kermit the Frog or Elmo? Tickle me Elmo. Regular Elmo. Man, were you the one that
Ernest? Y'all remember the movies Ernest Goes to Camp?
Of course.
And Ernest meets he was in a movie with the Muppets too.
Yeah?
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. I think it's like a holiday movie or something too, maybe, because I feel like I see it during holiday season. Elmo all day, cussing folks out in Elmo. Like like a 5-year-old just cussing people out. Like excited 5-year-old. Were you the one that posted the thing about Sesame Street?
Probably. I post a lot of things about Sesame Street.
Sesame Street almost didn't happen. The people who produced, put together, directed, etc., Sesame Street insisted on highlighting in poor communities and communities of color, where children weren't getting as much attention, or even where schools were being like defunded and things like that. They wanted to focus on those areas and highlight those children on purpose. Mm-hmm. And the studios were like, absolutely fuck not. And then they were like, well, then we're absolutely the fuck not doing this.
Yeah. Yes. And the artists, the scenery, they depicted, so that
like
it was relatable. Yeah.
In your neighborhood.
Yeah. The relatable to those that they were, showing. And yes, and the diversity and what a reality, the reality of life in that.
Yeah. And I want to say that there was a lot of white people in charge of these projects, and that is what you do with your privilege. Mm-hmm. That's what you do with your privilege. You use it to make sure that others are seen as well. Like, don't just see me, see others. Yep. As well.
And that's the whole, they were like, we're doing this because they saw this need for the communities, where parents were being either away working or being incarcerated.
Right.
And so these children,
the TV was the babysitter.
So literally the TV was the babysitter. And and so the phonics and the counting, like all.
So they're like, if the TV is going to be on anyway,
yep,
let's do something productive with it.
Yep.
And that's why Sesame Street is the way it is, and set the way it is. And yeah.
And also commercials now, because now we know our commercials are catered to, time frames and
yes.
All right.
Next. Oh, corporate America. Thanks for ruining everything. Okay. Capitalism. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. Would you rather be covered in bees or be covered in spiders?
Oh, we answered this one before. You know my answer. Bees. Because I can sit with bees and buzzing. I can't sit with spiders and crawling.
The worst chill.
I lived in a house that had a bunch of those like oak tree spiders. This was in Florida, and those motherfuckers, they weren't poisonous or anything, but they were fucking huge. They were as big as your fucking hand, and they would jump at you and run at you, and oh my gosh.
So there's, have I told y'all this before, where I was in India? I was in India in 2013, and I was in the room with my friend at the time. And we were talking, and I was laying in the bed, right? And then she just stops talking. She just stops talking altogether. And I was like, what? She's a horrified look on her face. And all she can do is like point. And I fucking look up, and there's a spider as big as my head above my head on the wall. I don't think I've ever walked on air before that or after that. But in that moment, I cleared the whole bed. What the fuck? But then we were on this like we were on this journey, right? I may have told y'all this before. We were on this journey of peace and love. So we would like poked our head outside and saw the little janitor guy out there, and we were trying to explain to him, who does not speak English and who we do not speak his native tongue, and we were trying to explain to him that he needed to go in there and get the spider, okay, but not kill it, just like catch and release. We don't want it dead. We just want it caught and then released. Like, and also because we were in India, he could not go in the room until we walked out of the room. So we had to like hold the door open and be outside of the room while he was inside of the room catching the spider. He caught it, and he left the room with it. I don't know what happened to it after that. It's not my responsibility after that. I tried to save its life. I did my best.
Yep.
I was like, peace and love. Namaste.
We're like, you take care of that now. We didn't kill it ourselves. So
yeah, no. But I did. But I will tell you, I'm not still on that journey. So if you join me in the shower, Spider-Man, sir, you're going down the drain. I don't care. If you're dressed in a spider suit, we can't. You're going down the drain.
Agreed. I will wash you down the drain. I will wash you down the drain. If you're crawling around my house, I will put a glass over you, and I will let you outside.
Listen, I will tell the authorities in my house that there's a spider, and then what happens after that is not my responsibility. I would just like, excuse me. It's usually this is how I tell the authorities. Y'all ready? This is how I tell the authorities. Like that. And then the authorities come and handle whatever I'm screeching about.
Like, I'm good. Like, I got a person for that.
Yeah, no, it's handled. But I try like with in the shower, I'm just like, good luck. Hopefully you don't drown. If you do, I'm sorry, but like, goodbye.
Nope.
You can't crawl back up the drain.
Yeah, hold your breath.
There's a high likelihood they didn't make it though, because my water is scalding hot also. I take showers in hell, everybody. I bathe in the fiery waters of hell. I was like, today I took a bath. I prefer baths instead of showers. I took a bath today. And I was sweating. It was like a sauna in there. I think that's why I do it. I think I'm bougie or something in the sauna.
Whatever, do your thing, girl. Like, yeah. I like hot showers. I'm not a bath tubber.
I like hot showers too. But also and plus we have a tankless water heater, which we will have to we're working on a potential move. And so when I do move into my new castle, then it is going to be a requirement that we have a large tankless hot water heater, because I cannot live without it. Now that I have it, never again.
Yeah, I agreed. Why anything else exists is beyond.
No.
But
I can't run out of hot water. My answer is, of course, it's bees. I mean, I don't know. What kind of spiders? Are they harmless? Do they bite? Like, I don't, because bees sting, but I can't stand a spider. I can't do it. I'm sorry, spiders. I even tried to get along with Daddy Longlegs, but like, honestly, we should just leave each other alone.
I can leave
unless you're a daddy with long
alone,
legs.
and then other spiders, I'm like, nah, you got to get out of my space. But
it's a bad joke.
I don't know. Yeah.
I just made a really bad joke about daddies with long legs.
I did not hear you.
I said, unless you're a daddy with long legs. And I was like, that was a bad joke. It's not true either. I prefer you're not a daddy. I prefer you're not joke. I prefer you're not a daddy. This is my preference. Not just no discrimination, no hate. Anyways, okay. Well, you guys, it's been a fun show. We have an extra fun show also coming on June 1st, which is Wednesday. So make sure you set your clocks, set your alarms, set your alerts, and tune in and tell all of your freaking friends. Tell all of them. We are trying to get our numbers up today. Missouri always brings the fire, the heat, the thunder. Missouri's always in somewhere. I know that's where some of our numbers were coming from today. We had people coming in to watch and hear what Christina had to say. This show was posted on several other sites, so we like to see that for all future shows as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Today's the day where we honor those who didn't make it. Not those that just didn't make it because of the war they fought on foreign soil, but the one that they fought when they got back to. So we've lost many, unfortunately, to what they had to come home to, So today we honor those. We honor those pets, or let's say working animals. They weren't pets, working animals in service today as well. Yes. You can thank a veteran every day, but today is for those that didn't make it home. And so we will honor those in our way. And thank you guys for being here. I have to light this thing. I'm just gonna be stoned as fuck because I don't have a joint, so I'm just like smoking wax all the whole show, trying to keep up. But as always, be nice to yourself. It's really important. Hey, you guys, also, if you believe in this shit, which I do to some extent, the retrograde is over on Thursday, so you be all right. You can make it. But
you made it.
Keep being nice to yourself. Do the self-care thing. Put your mask on before assisting others.
Yes.
Cultivate love.
Oh shit. Cultivate love. You deserve it. Bring it to you. Long haul it. And always
stay lifted. Whoa.
Stay lifted.
That was a good one. See you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out. We love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Oh, vote no to legal Missouri.